Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
What?
She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Richard Goodall is an older singer who's becoming really famous, and people all around the world are amazed by his amazing voice. But behind his sweet singing, Richard has a really sad life story that would make anyone cry. Let's take a look at the tough and emotional life of Richard Goodall. Richard Goodall is a great singer who became super famous after singing Don't Stop Believing. He even won the Golden Buzzer on America's Got Talent. But before all this, Richard was just a 55-year-old janitor at Choney Rose Middle School, where he cleaned classrooms, swept floors, and took out the trash. How did he become the star we know today? What kept him going for 23 years without giving up? This is the story of Richard Goodall, a man who showed that dreams can come true, even for someone with an ordinary life. Richard grew up in a small town in Indiana, where music was always his greatest joy. He loved singing along to songs on his radio, dreaming of performing on a big stage. But as he got older, Richard had to put those dreams aside to work and support himself, so he became a janitor. For 23 years, Richard worked hard at his job, always singing as he cleaned, and people at the school loved hearing his voice. In 2022, during a school event, Richard sang Don't Stop Believing, and a teacher recorded it and put it on TikTok. The video went viral, getting over 1 million views, and even the band Journey noticed him. Richard's story is a reminder that amazing things can happen, even in the most unexpected ways. The video kept getting more and more popular until the producers of America's Got Talent noticed it. They reached out to Richard and invited him to audition for the show. Richard, full of excitement and a bit of disbelief, said yes. The small-town janitor was about to step onto one of the biggest stages in the world.
Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard of shadows.
2 years after his viral video, on May 27th, Richard found himself in front of AGT's famous judges, Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel. Even though he was nervous, Richard was determined. He took a deep breath and started singing Don't Stop Believing. His performance was incredible, earning a standing ovation from the audience and judges. Heidi Klum, moved by Richard's talent and story, hit the golden buzzer, sending him straight to the live shows. Golden confetti rained down on him, marking a huge moment in Richard's life. Overcome with emotion, Richard thanked everyone, saying how amazing it felt to be living his dream. As he moved on to the live shows, Richard kept winning over the audience with his powerful voice and humble attitude. His story touched millions of people as he showed what hope and perseverance could do. His journey from janitor to possible superstar was a true example of how life can take unexpected turns. Throughout the competition, Richard stayed grounded. His music team, who joined him in July, helped him pick songs that showed off his voice and emotions. AGT's staff made sure he had all the support he needed, from help with social media to emotional support during the intense competition. As the live shows got closer, the excitement in his hometown of Terre Haute grew. The whole community supported Richard, organizing watch parties and voting for their local hero. On August 13th, the day of the live show, families and friends gathered around their TVs, excited to see Richard perform again. No matter what happened in the competition, Richard's future looked bright. His new fame opened doors to opportunities he had only dreamed of, like recording albums, performing at different places, and working with famous artists. But through it all, Richard stayed the same humble janitor who sang in the halls of Choney Rose Middle School. Looking forward, Richard dreamed of a life where he could keep making music while staying connected to his community. He wanted to inspire others, especially the students who had always believed in him. He planned to continue working at the school, now not just as a janitor, but as a living example of how dreams can come true and why it's important to never give up. In interviews, Richard often shared a message of hope, encouraging people to put down their phones, connect with loved ones, and follow their passions, no matter how impossible they might seem. His story reminded everyone that amazing things can happen to anyone at any time. Richard Goodall's journey from a singing janitor to a national sensation was more than just a story of sudden fame. It was a story of resilience, community, and the power of music. Standing on the AGT stage, surrounded by applause, Richard knew this was just the beginning. The best was yet to come.
Streetlights, people living just a bag in my sound, hiding somewhere in the night.
Richard Goodall won many hearts when he appeared on America's Got Talent and talked lovingly about his fiancée Angie, but there's a part of his life filled with sadness that he hasn't shared much. Before Angie, Richard had a wife he loved deeply. Her name hasn't been shared, but their life together was full of love, joy, and pain. Richard was married to his first wife for 30 years. They built a life full of special memories, celebrating holidays and cherishing each moment together. Photos from those times show their deep connection, with smiles and loving glances that tell the story of their strong bond. But life can be tough. In 2021, everything changed for Richard when his wife was diagnosed with cancer, a battle no one ever wants to face. Richard did everything he could to support her, standing by her side through every challenge. He gave all his love and strength to help her, but cancer is a harsh foe. On June 19, 2021, Richard lost his beloved wife. The pain of losing her was overwhelming. On Instagram, Richard shared his heartbreak, writing, "I'm so sorry. I did my best, but my best wasn't good enough. Cancer is like getting punched in the gut, falling to the ground, then told to get back up and start all over." His words revealed the deep sorrow he felt, the helplessness of not being able to save her. For Richard, losing his wife was like losing a part of himself. They had shared 30 years of love, laughter, and life together. The happy memories and photos are bittersweet reminders of what they had and what was lost too soon. Even with all the pain, life had to move on. After some time, Richard found love again. On August 25th, not long after his wife's passing, he posted a picture on Instagram with Angie, the woman who brought happiness back into his life. The caption read, "Fun night with Mylene at Taco Tequilas." Angie brought joy back to Richard, but it's clear that the journey to happiness was filled with tears and loss. Richard's story is one of love, loss, pain, and healing. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, there's hope for a new beginning, though the scars of the past remain. As we look at Richard's journey, we see a man who has faced deep loss, but has found a way to keep moving forward, carrying the memory of his first wife in his heart as he begins a new chapter in his life. Richard Goodall had a voice that could touch hearts, and for years, those around him kept urging him to pursue a career in singing. People often told him how extraordinary his talent was, encouraging him to audition for a singing competition. After much thought, Richard decided to listen to their advice. He had seen the overwhelming love and support from his social media followers whenever he shared his singing, and he felt it was finally time to take a bold step forward.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights, people.
The Voice, one of the most prestigious singing competitions, seemed like the perfect platform for him to showcase his remarkable talent. Richard carefully chose a song that held deep meaning for him, "Don't Stop Believing." He practiced tirelessly, pouring all his emotions and experiences into the song. Confident in his abilities, he submitted his audition video, hoping this would be the breakthrough moment he had been waiting for. But then, the unexpected news arrived. Richard received an email from The Voice that crushed his hopes. "Hello, Richard. Thank you so much for auditioning in our virtual open call. We have reviewed your performance of Don't Stop Believing. Unfortunately, you will not be moving on to the next round. Please keep working, and we hope to see you again next season." The rejection was a severe blow to Richard. He had believed in his talent and thought he had a real shot at making it. The email felt like a punch in the gut, a sharp contrast to the encouragement he had always received from those who believed in him. The disappointment ran deep, making him question if he was truly good enough. The Voice's decision left him feeling heartbroken and doubting his worth as a singer. However, Richard was not the type to give up easily. Instead of letting the rejection defeat him, he chose to use it as fuel to push forward. Determined to keep pursuing his dream, Richard took to Instagram to share his thoughts and emotions with his supporters. In his post, he expressed his hurt, but also his resolve. "Just so everyone knows, I'm worthy of The Voice, but I'll try for AGT. Regular people just don't cut it in this world. Love you all for your support, Richard Goodall." Though the pain of rejection was evident, Richard's determination shone through. The Voice may have closed one door, but Richard wasn't about to let that be the end of his dream. He set his sights on America's Got Talent, AGT, another massive platform where he could show the world what he was capable of. Richard's journey was far from over. He knew he possessed something special, and he was ready to prove it to everyone, even if The Voice had failed to see it. With a heavy heart but an unwavering spirit, Richard prepared for the next challenge, embracing the opportunity to shine on a new stage. As Richard embarked on his journey to AGT, he carried with him the sting of rejection, but also the unwavering hope of a fresh start. What secrets did America's Got Talent keep hidden about Richard Goodall? Richard won the Golden Buzzer on the show, but before his big moment, he shared a little about himself. He mentioned that he was just a janitor and had a fiancé. But there's more to his story than meets the eye, and what we found out is surprising. Richard spoke lovingly about his fiancée, Angie, on the show. However, there's a part of his life that he didn't talk about. Before Angie, Richard was married to another woman, though her name is kept private. Sadly, she passed away on June 19, 2021. After a tough fight with cancer. On Instagram, Richard shared how heartbroken he was, saying, "I'm so sorry. I did my best, but my best wasn't good enough. Cancer is like getting punched in the gut, falling to the ground, then being told to get back up and start all over." These words show how much pain he went through. Richard and his first wife were together for 30 years, sharing a life filled with love. They celebrated every Christmas and Valentine's Day together, and their photos show how close they were. But life took a sad turn. After his wife's passing, Richard found love again. On August 25th, he posted a picture on Instagram with Angie, saying, "Fun night with Mylene at Taco Tequila's." It seems like Richard has found happiness again, but getting there wasn't easy. Richard also mentioned that he would sing alone in his room with just his radio, wishing he had a band. But that's not the whole truth. Richard is actually part of a local band in Terre Haute, Indiana, called Manipa. Things changed when a TikTok video of Richard singing a Journey song at a middle school went viral. Suddenly, the band started getting offers to perform at local bars, and by July, they were fully booked. Richard shared, "And just like that, we're booked every weekend in July. Thank you to the band for their awesome hard work, and to our manager for getting us the gigs. See you folks Saturday night at Archie's Sports Bar at 7:30. Don't miss a note." There's even talk that Richard might perform with Manipa in the finals of America's Got Talent. One of Richard's bandmates said, "I wasn't surprised at all by the response. I knew this was coming. He deserved it. He's just so good, especially at singing Journey. He's the perfect Journey singer." Richard once sang alone in his room, dreaming of being in a band. Now, with Manipa, he's a viral sensation. America's Got Talent announced they would cover all of Richard's expenses for the competition. Since Richard works as a janitor and doesn't make much money, it would have been hard for him to afford plane tickets, hotel stays in California, and other costs. But here's the heartwarming part. Chris Bond, a fellow Terre Haute resident, started a GoFundMe campaign that raised an incredible $15,000. He said, "Let's give Terre Haute, Indiana's AGT Golden Buzzer winner, our support." Richard traveled alone for the first competition on his first ever flight, but now he's coming back for 10 days to compete again. Thanks to this campaign, Richard doesn't have to worry about money, and his family can be with him too. The campaign started on May 30th, 2024, and hit its goal by June 9th, with 382 people pitching in. The community support has been amazing, making sure that Richard, who touched hearts with his Golden Buzzer moment, can focus entirely on his next performance, backed by the love and support of his hometown. Richard had a chance to sing in front of a big crowd in August 2022. He sang "Don't Stop Believing" with Rudy Cardenas, a singer from American Idol. Richard looked comfortable and confident on stage, and the song was perfect for his strong voice. Rudy, a singer from Venezuela who was on American Idol and now sings in a rock band, had seen Richard's TikTok video and was so impressed that he invited Richard to join him on stage. Before they started singing, Rudy introduced Richard in an exciting way, saying, "There's a TikTok phenomenon, a singing janitor from right here in Terre Haute, and let me tell you, when I saw the video, I thought, there's no way this is real, but it is, and he's here tonight." Together, they created a magical moment with their singing. Richard's story, from being a janitor to singing with a famous performer like Rudy, shows that dreams can come true if you keep believing. After the performance, Richard posted a video on Instagram saying, "An absolute awesome day. Thank you to the Drake family for setting this up, Jeff Gindhart and Chelsea for being my brother from another mother and filming me, the whole Mill staff, the awesome band, and my Terre Haute friends in the audience. I hope more to come. Still enjoying the ride, y'all." After many years of people telling Richard that his voice was amazing and that he should audition for a singing competition, he finally decided to try out for The Voice. He knew people loved his singing on social media and felt ready to take the next step. Richard sent in a video of himself singing "Don't Stop Believing" for the audition, hoping to make it onto the show. But then he got a disappointing email from The Voice. Hello, Richard. Thank you so much for auditioning in our virtual open call. We have reviewed your performance of Don't Stop Believing. Unfortunately, you will not be moving on to the next round. Please keep working, and we hope to see you again next season. Richard was crushed. He couldn't believe they didn't want him on the show. But instead of giving up, he decided to try out for America's Got Talent, AGT. He shared his thoughts on Instagram saying, "Just so everyone knows, I'm worthy of the voice. But I'll try for AGT. Regular people just don't cut it in this world. Love you all for your support. Richard Goodall." The voice had missed a big chance by not giving Richard a shot, but Richard didn't let it stop him. He was determined to show everyone his talent on AGT. His journey was far from over, and he was ready to prove that he could make his dreams come true. After Richard's TikTok went viral, he caught the attention of some big names in music. One of those was Steve Perry, a famous American singer and songwriter. When Steve Perry commented on Richard's TikTok saying, "I love this," it was a huge moment for Richard. Having someone he admired so much appreciate his voice meant the world to him. Richard responded to Steve Perry saying, "Love your music, sir. Thank you for commenting. This means so much to me." You could tell from Richard's reply just how much he admired Steve Perry. But it didn't stop there. Richard received support from all over. The official Journey account on TikTok even reposted Richard's video to show their support. Howie Mandel, a famous comedian and judge on AGT, posted a video reacting to Richard's TikTok, saying that Richard needs to be on AGT. At first, Richard couldn't believe it. He thought it might be fake accounts or videos. He didn't want to get too excited in case it wasn't real, but then he found out it was genuine. It was a dream come true.